What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 34 of my Total Warhammer 3 Drycha Immortal Empires campaign. So as we saw last time, Daemonhunters' Air Force took flight, though of course everybody took flight but Daemonhunters himself, and for now I guess Isilal, the Glade Captain, is stuck on the ground, and so will the other Isilal be as well, for a little while yet. So that was pretty fun, and I'm excited to keep trying this force out, making it stronger, and seeing just what heights it can reach once everybody's at higher tiers and maxed out with veterancy and stuff. Should be pretty interesting. It's a very different force than all of our other forces, and that's one of the things I really like about it. In fact, if we could possibly try to get this fight going with Uli Skellan here, I'd really like that as well. I do wonder if he'd try to attack us at Carrick Ziflin. If, you know what? Let's send you to Carrick Ziflin. I was going to originally send you to Helmgart or to Castle Baston or something, but we'll colonize this. And maybe with us at Tired and Vigor, and these guys would be willing to fight us in the field rather than just sitting back and waiting. Otherwise, we'll have to send Durthu up there to, you know, get them out, because there's quite a few of them. Anyway, Daemonhunters, you stay there. If they don't want to fight, we'll send Durthu, and then we'll just jump you down and start working on the Empire a little bit more, just to help Vladdy, who clearly needs more territory. Durthu, you're going to quickly raise Castle Baston to the ground, though I do wonder if we have to actually fight this one or not. Let's just take a quick look here. Close victory. Casualties low, but close victory. I wonder if that means damage. I also would love to not have to waste a turn actually getting Baston. Well, we'll see. I think we want to apply some points because it might increase our chances of not taking too much damage in the auto-resolve there. And now, the things that we want to do with Durthu. First of all, he needs to start moving through Ancient Bark. I also would like to get another point in Pan's Impenetrable Pelt since he does have Rage of Kurnos. Yeah, so Vissen's Wild Form and Pan's should both be maxed out, like so. Then we'll get 2 points in Ancient Bark. Actually, you know what? I think the Ancient Bark points will actually do better for the auto-resolve than the rest would. Like so. There we go. Oh my god, look at these frickin' treemen. Only 17 hind gold, 163 armor. It's intense. And on top of that, these guys are rank 5 and 6. They have not yet reached their ability to get the Forest's Roar, I want to say. So that's another melee attack and defense by 5 and another 15% missile resistance. I'm thinking maybe we could get a couple more treemen in here. Do we have too many treekin for the number of treemen that we have? I'm not entirely sure. Honestly, the tree men are cheaper than the treekin in this army, which is ridiculous, but it is what it is. Anyway, let's see. You, Deluric, you're still probably in here only temporarily, unless we want to get Durthu 3 branch rates and keep this one around just because it's like a holdover from back when Durthu wasn't killing everyone. Let's get you another point in, I think, Awakening of the Wood. Or Shield of Thorns. I don't really care about the Withering all that much, to be honest. Yeah, let's get you Shield of Thorns. There's always at least a few units that could be Shield of Thorns, and you haven't been using it as well. Also, you have 3 points in Replenish Troops, which means that if we level Israstad right now, it'll start using her Replenish Troops, which I guess is not a good idea. But that's Arcane Conduit, damn it. I guess we won't be replenishing troops right now anyway, so it won't make much of a difference. Alright, fine. Get Arcane Conduit, and get, wait, did we get the Force Roar with both of you? Tier 2 and then Tier 1, right? Yeah. Alrighty, and then you can have, I guess, 1 point in Regrowth and then another point in the Dwellers Below, since we use it pretty much every battle. Alrighty, now after that, still close victory and no casualties, but yeah, there's really no purpose in fighting this auto-resolve. Wow, okay, yeah, that's quite a bit of damage. Raise the place for a nice 23.5k, though. And attrition plus 15 when under siege. Swell, I guess. I don't think we really care about that, because I don't see Durthu sieging anything rather than just straight up attacking it. I guess we'll take Castle Baston over and a few of these territories, and we might as well give them to Bretonnia. a little bit later. Not all of them perhaps, but the interior provinces, while we keep the ports because they can actually give us money, as well as the mountain territories because they give us trade goods. Alrighty, ooh, Montfort, we can level up as well. And Ziflin, you can be built. Alrighty, now, I believe at the end of last episode we had Drycha about to move into an actual possible battle here. Do we need to level? We don't really need to level Drycha, but the rest of you guys. Let's see, Doombolt for you. Oh, and we got Changing Nature and Writhing Branches. Lovely. So now, aspect changes are real cheap, and Writhing Branches gives us the Forest Attrition, enemy armies in local province. Nice. Alright, and we still have that one unit of giant spiders. Really need to get a couple treemen in here. And just a couple, not a crazy amount, because Drycha should still be relatively dryad heavy due to her Briarmaven of Woe buff. But I feel like one tree man isn't sufficient. Coadel should be flanked by 2, so yeah. Alrighty. Now you two. Wow. Mentor definitely. And I hope that you both have replenished troops, because I don't want to do the level thing again. Okay, we're good. Let's get you Mentor as well. And you have all your spells, which means you're heading into Tempered Rigor. Most definitely. And then you got 2 more points to spend, so let's... Ooh, wow, you're actually quite low in armor, so let's get you Impenetrable Bark. And I'm just realizing that you don't actually have a lot of points remaining. 37. Should be enough to get most of this. Is Impenetrable Bark that worth? Yeah, it's 30 armor. In fact, it's probably more worth it than Endurance of the Yoke, because, yeah, your health is so low that it isn't all that worth it. 125 HP, yeah, not worth a point. Over 10 armor, that's crazy. No way. At least we know that we can ignore Endurance of the Yoke for these guys. 125. Yeah, it should be plus 30% hit points on such a low HP character, not plus 15%. Anyway, you have Tempered Rigor and Bark and Deadly Onslaught. You have most of the spells, but lack Flock of Doom. Let's get you that. And then I guess we can... I mean, I don't really like using the Amber Spear that often, rather. Mostly because I have a dislike for magic missiles in general, but I suppose there could be certain occasions in which it could come in handy still, so let's keep it for now. And I still haven't decided which aspect you guys get. I really feel like the Branch Wraiths should be able to switch aspects like the Dryads can. Anyway, with that, we're heading for some ogres. Let's see if it's a fun battle. What do you got, ogres? And it's an ambush as well. Well. That's... Ooh, they've got 2 Stonehorns with harpoon launchers. Interesting. Actually, interestingly enough, these are easier to deal with when you allow them to just stay in range, because the AI doesn't send them into melee right away. And if you have your own range units, you could just knock them down in range while they stay still and chuck javelins at you. But unfortunately for us, we don't have any range, so we'll have to be fighting them. I guess we'll send Coadil and the Tree Man at each of these, and then Drycha can go after a Ragag here. Decent amount of, oh, they got Lead Belchers and Elder Scrap Launcher, lots of Iron Guts. Alright, this one's definitely worth fighting. Here we go cinematically. Alright, every single time I forget that there's not going to be a speech from the Lord before an ambush battle, but anyway, here we go. This is probably going to be as proper an ogre battle that we're likely to get. Well, I suppose there's the second army as well, if it turns out to be a big one, unlike that first basic spawn that we auto-resolved. Anyway, we got 2 Stonehorns versus 2 Treemen, though of course one of them is Coadil, and he was able to defeat the Bilious Thunderguff in a one-on-one-ish, so I don't imagine that a Stonehorn would stand that much chance. Probably much better to use a Stonehorn to blender infantry rather than fighting one of the Treemen. Otherwise, let's see what we've got. Drycha is going to be chasing around the enemy Slaughtermaster, who is a level 1 and stands absolutely no chance against this, especially when we get the buffs up there. And the rest of our units are simply just moving around, are going to tie up everybody, while the wolves are going to go after the fragile targets and then chase them down. Pretty simple. And that seemed way too fast. Was that normal speed? Oh, I guess the wolves are just quite fast. Okay. Alrighty, here come the treemen. Coadil going after that first Stonehorn there. Who, by the looks of it, doesn't want to fight. But not to worry, we can chase him down. I'm sure the other Stonehorn is currently being blocked by piles of Treekin. The wolves have chased down those lead belchers who are quite vulnerable in melee, though it is quite difficult, I've found, to actually catch and kill the Nobbler scrap launchers. They always seem to get away, and generally ogres are pretty darn good at running away, though as we can see, they routed in like 20 seconds with like half their army, and even the Stonehorns are wavering. By the looks of it. And Drycha's also trying to get through to fight the enemy lord, and we had to summon her Malevolent Dryad roused to wrath use just to get these Mournfangs. Wait, those are crushers. Yeah, just to get the crushers out of the way so that Drycha could attack the lord. But otherwise, the enemy's routing a little bit quicker than I'd like. There's Drycha attacking the enemy, popping that Melkoth's Mystifying Miasma as well, since she has it for so cheap, and between Dampen and the other magic debuffs, does pretty okay damage with it. And though the Crushers are quite annoying and getting in her way, she will continue chasing down the enemy lord. And yeah, there's a decent amount of cav to deal with. I actually, interestingly enough, haven't seen Crushers a lot, and at this point I think I've played Total Warhammer 3 quite a bit, but I almost never encounter them from the ogres. They do have Mournfangs a lot, but the Crushers, I guess, are tier 5 units, so the AI rarely gets a camp built to that level before it gets destroyed somewhere. So I guess it's nice that they at least spawn here. Oh, the Wraiths of the Frozen Heart fighting some Iron Guts. Pretty nice little matchup here. I wonder how they would do against each other one-on-one. The Iron Guts obviously have a lot of armor and a lot of splash damage, but we have our Dryads buffed fairly considerably. And it looks like they've overrun the unit which has routed. We are also trying to chase down one of those damn Stonehorns, but the giant wolves are having a fairly difficult time bringing it down. Once again, the ogres are routing and then coming back. It's almost like fighting Skaven in a way. And oh, look, this one's actually getting some use out of its ranged ability. It's just standing back and chucking those, or shooting those crossbows. Oh. These guys have crossbows. Yeah, I was thinking of the hunters with the with their javelins when they're on top of the Stonehorns, rather than just the Stonehorns. It does say harpoon launcher. Huh, maybe the hunters also have a crossbow. You know, I gotta check. But I'm pretty sure they chuck a javelin when they're not on a mount, so I would imagine they would do the same one on a mount. Anyway, here come two Treekin, and as they couldn't beat one, I doubt that they're going to beat two, especially with support. Damn, those Stonehorns are pretty huge, though. Every time I see Stonehorns, I got a little bit of PTSD from my Boris campaign. Even though it's finished, well, I don't remember. Few months ago now, but yeah, so damn many Stonehorns encountered in that campaign. The AI ogre just wouldn't stop building Stonehorn stacks. Not complete Stonehorn stacks, but way more than would be necessary. And just like the High Elves used to build nothing but dragons, yeah, that was pretty interesting. Anyway, looks like the battle is over. The enemy has routed, though to be fair, they didn't have much of a chance. I think most of the damage that we've taken are on roused to wrath summoned Dryads, so we probably didn't suffer all that much. This is another roused to wrath Dryad, as we can see by its lack of veterancy. Huh, wait, this one got rank 1. Interesting. I guess they can level mid-battle despite being summoned units. I wouldn't have thought that summoned units can gain veterancy at all. I do wonder if their stats get upgraded mid-battle then. Kind of interesting. I don't imagine you could get too much out of this, but it's still an interesting idea. Anyway, let's speed this up. We got a little bit of chasing to do and probably more fights to fight, if we can find them, but that was, it's been pretty neat to actually get a battle against some ogres for once. Hopefully the second ogre battle will be decent as well. Alrighty, not a particularly difficult battle, though I did perhaps forget how irritatingly good the ogres are at running away, or at least how difficult it is to bring them down once they're running. Even the giant wolves aren't super adept at it, unfortunately, but they did get, it looks like, the most damage on the field out of anybody, so. And they still clearly did a lot of work. We're gonna heal up to full, because we might as well, and we're in attrition territory. And I do believe this army survives this, but there's no need to fight it again, so we're just going to auto-resolve it the second time around. And there we go, auto-resolve that. Lovely. And did we get more money out of the auto-resolve than we did out of the first time? I guess because of the more units destroyed. Fair enough. A free obsidian amulet, which we can turn into something else, hopefully. An elder scout for Dada, but you don't need that because that doesn't actually work, as I understand it, on heroes. At least it doesn't transfer to the Lord's armor, at least as far as I'm aware, but please do correct me if I'm wrong. Now we are going to move you here, which will take, let's say, 1 and then 2 turns. And then this is coming in 2 turns. I wonder if they can move at the same time, as in the same time to attack Knobbly Gorge here. But that's why we have Deluric with his little temp army, and we can make use of that in order to defend Knobbly Gorge if we need to, and then delete him afterwards because he doesn't really serve a purpose here. Unless, wait, what did he have again? Yeah, he has Respondence of Luminescence, which isn't horrible, but he is another Ancient Tree Man of Beasts, and I feel like we already have too many of those running around currently. I want another Shadow Tree Man for another Force of Elves. Or a Life Tree Man for Elves and Treekin? Wait. No, actually yeah, because all the tree men have the Skin of the Woods ability. It doesn't matter, so yeah. If that was only tied to Life Lore, then that would be different. Alrighty, let's see what else we need to do in this time around. First of all, Griffin Wood. Do we want to upgrade? No, we do not, because we're waiting to upgrade the winery here, which is nearly done. Forest of Chalon, Quinnell, we can get the cattle pastures, I guess. Not that we'll be recruiting a lot of cavalry, but we will probably build a cavalry army at some point, so it's not really a never so much as a someday. You need 2 growth, and it's not worth it until we have the winery completed. Haunted Forest, you are looking good for now. Torgavon, yes, to the Val's Anvil upgrade. Yeah, Torgavon really needs upgrades. Vidrioth. We deleted something here for the purpose of building that guard platform, so the guard platform has to be up. Not sure about keeping the area here, but I'll think about it. Maybe better stuff. And I don't like how both of these territories are sharing this military building, but for now, since it's giving us extra glade captains, we'll keep it. Alrighty, and then Worm Pass, Mount Thug will upgrade you, and that's it. Alrighty, so who can still attack? Tala, you are actually about to attack the Hell Pit, which we will do shortly. Colas, I wanted to set up an ambush with you by moving Isalal somewhere where Grommy can reach. So let's say here, in which Grom should be able to reach. Then what we'll do is recruit you some wild spirits so that Grom thinks that he needs to commit this army and not just Skulk's army. Then we'll put you into Masterful Ambush, and we'll put you right in front of him at 100%. And we'll hope all this works out. And then Colas will... Ah, damn, it'll take 2 turns to get to the Massive 4 Cal, but, well, whatever. Not a big deal. It's not like we're hurting for cash right now, even if that army is temporary. Alrighty, Tala is not good, but will be shortly. Dulcet, who's Dulcet again? Oh right, the guy that was outside the ogre stuff. Alright, fine. So we'll attack Carcassonne camp with a quick auto-resolve. And we'll head out to kill Greasus, hopefully. I'll resolve this. And down you go, and then we can have... just abduct those captives. Alrighty, then what we'll want to do is we'll want to put you into an camp stance just to heal up a little bit more. And I'm hoping that we can reach Firemouth and run around next turn. At least we'll see. Then what we'll do is we'll talk to you, and we will trade the we will trade Karakazorn for the Maw Gate. Yes. And they'll be willing to give us money. Nah, they can keep their money. We don't need their money. We really don't. Alrighty, so now they have a faction capital, or a province capital rather, and we have ourselves some spices. Which is nice, because we'll get some trade goods out of it, plus a full province. I really do think that the Wood Elves should have commandments that should be able to power up. Like, they could have a commandment that increases the money generation in a territory with outposts, as well as, I don't know, replenishment or something. Make the outposts worth a little bit more than they are, just a little bit. Nothing crazy, but just enough so that they're not the worst things in the world. It's not like you're gonna defend them anyway. Yeah, well, we'll have our allies defend this portion. Essentially, we'll be giving this territory to the Cathians, and then this territory to Imric, and then hopefully between them, nobody can go down here. Also, speaking of the Cathians, has anybody actually ever seen the northern provinces go north? As in, is the AI programmed to stay south of the wall? Because Dragon's Crossroad has been sitting here undefended for a while, and it doesn't look like Cathay is really fighting anybody anymore. But these armies aren't moving north, which is very strange.
The struggle against
I feel like they should be.
Must be fought.
Well, whatever. Not much we can do about it, but I'd be interested to know if anybody has ever seen Cathay conquer the northern parts of it. Maybe if we go up there, do it ourselves, and give them those territories, they'd be willing to move up there? Or maybe they're just physically incapable of moving past the wall. Anyway, Akiran, you don't need to move. Israstot and Dare talk. And Danas, I don't remember where I wanted to send you. But we summoned these two for the purpose of putting them in new armies. Oh, right, the town of Kurnus. You really should be in Colus's army, even if you are a lower level. Hopefully Maggot doesn't assassinate you immediately, because it probably took a while to get you on the field. But anyway, let's start moving you out, and let's keep an eye on... Oh, look, another town of Kurnus. Which we already have on that Gallade Captain in the ranged army, I guess. But it is still tempting. And then another Talon of Kurnus here. Okay, fine. We'll double up on those. And then you're tough. Wait, just to double check. We have Ariel's Chosen, rather, Determined. Well, Talon of Kurnus is much better than those, even for that unit. And we still have a decent amount of space to make branch wraiths if we wanted to. I remember wanting a, I want to say Shadow Branch Wraith for some reason, but I don't remember whose army I wanted to put it in. Oh, I guess we want to put it in Durthu's army? Yeah, we want to put it into Durthu's army. And... Well, Murder of Spites is okay. And the problem with that is that every single one of these tree men has Murder of Spites now. Which means they can't overlap. I don't see it here, but I'm pretty sure it is here somewhere. Wait, I'm selecting Durthu, that's why. My bad. Yeah, so these guys have Murder of Spites and these guys have Annoyance of Netlings. You have Resplendence of Luminescence. So getting either one of those on a hero wouldn't be all that useful. It would be better if we could get either Blight of Terrors or possibly... Wait, what is Cluster of Radiance again? I don't remember. The other thing that I feel like that we could want is... Where is that? Deluric, is that you? Oh, wait. Resplendence of Luminescence... Wait. 1 second. I'm confused. These things have Resplendence of Luminescence, but Durthu doesn't benefit from the buff thing that these guys get. You have Resplendence of Luminescence, but I assume this would stack. So we could get another one of those then. Of course, the problem is we don't have one of those with Shadow. We have Cluster of Radiance. Oh, right, Cluster of Radiance is power recharge. To get with the Winds of Magic thing. I don't know, I'll think about getting a Murder of Spites. I'll think about it. I'm just not sure. Either way, let's see if anybody else needs to move. Just you guys? Alright, well, let's do one more quick battle. Tala, 'tis time to Tala some Hell Pit. And valiant defeat, you say? Well, you do have a warp bomb, so that's dangerous to the Dryads once more. We will, however, be using our secondary army as well. Let's put you, let's say, here. And hopefully we have enough movement afterwards to still... Why are you lagging? To still support Tala wherever he moves. And also, hopefully we don't get that damn plague. You have Murder of Spites, and you were originally a temporary army, but now at level 10, it ain't bad. I guess we'll get you Inspiring Presence and Foe Seeker. I don't want to invest into anything else here, because I'm not entirely sure what we do with you, especially since you're also a Beasts army. So we'd have to be relying a lot on the Wild Spirits. So what things have we not mixed the Wild Spirits with yet? I suppose elves would be the option, but anyway, we'll figure that out as we go. For now, it's time for Tala and Akiran to assault the Hell Pit. I think this will be worth a lot of sack value, so here we go. Alright, a very short speech from Tala here. Maybe he is upset at having to continue taking these Skaven settlements, especially as I believe there are Doom Rockets to contend with from the enemy towers. That said, the Doom Rockets aren't really threatening to Tala or to the Tree Kin, but the same cannot be said for the Dryads, so we'll have to be careful. Plus, there is Warp Bomb to consider, and we could very easily lose like several units of Dryads if the enemy positions those warp bombs well. Anyway, the battle is going to be very similar, I guess, to the battle for Prague here. Very similar sort of setup, both armies being used as well. Though, of course, we don't have an enemy lord with an additional stack in here. But on the other hand, this is the Hell Pit's garrison, so it's much better than the garrison we were facing off against before. They've got a mutant rat ogre, they've got a brood core, and an absolute ton of storm vermin. We, however, are also going to do this very slightly differently than... Oh, they managed to bring down a bear with one of those Doom Rockets. A second bear! How dare you, Doom Rockets! Alright, we're behind the rocks now, but still, damn. I'm gonna do this very slightly differently. Obviously, we are also going to send in the Malevolent Treekin and Bears and Spiders here, though hopefully after the Warp Bomb's been used in the case of the more fragile units. The Dryads are actually going to go straight up the walls and take their positions up there. Hopefully they can force anybody that goes up on the walls to rout before they can be Warp Bombed. Though, of course, you can still use Warp Bomb on top of the walls. Otherwise, however, we're gonna get the Wolves going through this gate, and then since the enemies deployed literally their entire army at this corner of the settlement, we're going to send them to the Victory Plaza. We'll see if the enemy can do anything about that. And that's the plan. Plus, of course, we have the Air Force coming in with Akiran over there, which we might get some use out of as well. Anyway, let's speed this up a little bit as we move into the settlement in a second or so. Enemy gates are destroyed. Alright, so the wolves are through, and oh, looks like some storm vermin are going to be fighting some of our dryads up here. Now, these dryads aren't nearly as effective as Drycha's, or I think Durthu's. I don't recall if Durthu's dryads get the same kind of buffs. I think he buffs Treekin and Treemen much better than he buffs dryads, which are more Drycha's realm or purview. But nonetheless. On the bright side, Tala has a massive amount of bonus regeneration, or not regeneration, but healing. Casualty replenishment is the word or phrase I was looking for his Dryad. So even if they get hurt, they heal up quite quickly as long as you get a turn to stand there. Also, does anybody know of a way to hide the cursor when you're in this? I know that you could do it with the with holding down the middle mouse button, but the middle mouse button, if you move slightly, it screws up the camera a little bit. I wish I could just press a key and hide it in some way. But as far as I know, or at least as far as I've been using, I'm not sure. I gotta double check the key bindings and stuff, maybe it is in there. Space definitely doesn't do it. In fact, space doesn't really help. Anyway, it looks like the enemy's gotten quite a few units up on those walls there, but also they are standing outside the gate as well, so we are being held off in both locations. On the bright side, however, our doggos are being completely uncontested and have already nearly reached the Victory Plaza, which they will start going after. Looks like the enemy is going to try to send its Brood Horde, by far the fastest unit, at 95 speed to try to reach those wolves, but we do have bear units trying to chase down said Brood Horde. They may be a little bit slower, but I think in combat the bears should be quite a bit stronger than a single Brood Horde. It doesn't do as much damage so much as it is fast and tanky. And watch those Doom Rockets, since we don't see them a lot. And what are you firing those at? I guess it was trying to fire them at a Kieran, but it looked like it was almost trying to fire them at its own clan rats. Anyway, back to the action. Let's see what our Treekin and what Tala are doing. Once again, we haven't sent in the spiders yet because I fear that a Warp Bomb activation will destroy them. But we can wait. Oh, another Menace below, and right in the middle of this as well. Kind of interesting, actually, because that just allows us to smash in all directions. Slaneshi giggle. Alrighty, and that is a Dwellers Below coming down into 3 units. And oh, what was that? I think that was a Warp Bomb. Huh. Alrighty, well, that was a waste because it wasn't in the middle of this. Oh, and look at those Dwellers Below, absolutely making mincemeat of 3 units of Storm Vermin and 1 unit of Marauders with great weapons. Very, very nice. I mean, look at that. 1 spell as well. Just out of curiosity, 271 kills. I'd wager that 200 to 250 came from that spell alone, and all 3 of those units basically got deleted. Very nice. We still do have the Mutant Rat Ogre to fight up here, but now it's looking a lot better. And in addition, our Air Force has arrived. The enemy has been keeping back a decent amount of Gutter Runners, Night Runners, the Plague Claws, and basically a bunch of ranged units all over the place. And the Hawks and the Bats are going to take care of those for us. No, what a glorious Dwellers Below, though. I was quite happy about that one. It's a pretty disgusting spell when the enemy does actually stand in a blob like that. I would actually love to compare the Pit of Shades in terms of damage versus the Dwellers Below. I think the Dwellers Below also slow down the enemy units that are in it, though, don't they? But I wonder just damage-wise, which would be superior. Because I really love Pit of Shades as well. And actually, after the Kairos campaign, Infernal Gateway is no slouch either. Really, any of those sucking vortexes that don't move, like the frickin' Purple Son of Zoraeus, I have had the worst luck with Purple Son of Zoraeus. I just, ugh. Don't get me started on that spell. And pretty bad luck with Flamestorm as well, but it seems like every single Purple Sun just goes in the completely wrong direction and then does nothing. I guess you need a really big blob for that particular spell to be effective. Anyway, the Dryads are still fighting the Storm Vermin up on the walls, my rant about the Purple Sun aside, although now they're getting a little bit of help from our Manticore up here. I'm gonna get some Earthblood on the Dryads as well. Oh, no, that's actually a Shield of Thorns, which should help them damage the Storm Vermin up here and prevent them from getting hurt as well. Looks like the Hawks and the Bats have primarily taken care of all of the range, or mainly taken care of almost all the ranged units. I don't know where that Brood Horde is, but I think we actually probably caught it and killed it. Unless, oh, it's right here actually. There it is. And yes, indeed, it has been caught by the Bears. The Bears look like they have lost 1 unit, if that was even to the Brood Horde. Yeah, it was. It has 1 kill, but they've killed it quite handily here in terms of HP trade-off. It looks pretty good to me. They are anti-large after all. And I think with that, we're drawing very close to the end of the battle here. We don't need to chase that off. The Victory Plaza's at 33%, and the Wolves stay there uncontested. We're completely through the gate now. The ranged units are dead. The Mutant Rat Ogre at half HP here. And will be killed by the trees by the looks of it. It looks like because of its low armor and relatively low melee defense, it will die. and the rest of the enemy army will shatter just as the Hawks charge into the back lines of the Storm Vermin up on the walls at the same time. Very nice, very nice. Could have probably knocked a few more off of those walls, but I think with them pinned between the Dryads and the Hawks attacking them in the back, plus the Manticore was still there as well, they probably would have all died or otherwise shattered. I actually do wonder whether it would have been more effective to circle the Hawks around and attack from the same side as the Dryads. One, because it would have been easier to escape off the walls, but also because maybe it would have been easier to knock the enemy off this way rather than over this way. I'm not entirely sure. Clearly a few rats were knocked off, but not nearly as many as I would like, and the mass charges onto the walls are pretty darn important. Anyway, pretty cool battle, and with that, the Hell Pit falls. Let's see how much it's worth in terms of sack value. Ah, and what a glorious dwellers below. Alrighty, certainly not too bad. Losses-wise, the enemy did do a little bit of damage to us, but at under 200, I'll certainly take it for the Hell Pit. It's a damn solid trade. The enemy also had to race against time, but ended up just routing before we even needed to win by capturing, which is, I suppose, great, as it always feels a little bit wrong to beat the AI by capturing the victory point, even though the AI likes to try to do the same thing, nonetheless. Anyway, this is worth 64.5k, very solid. And we're nearly at 300k money, so we're certainly able to build up another army. Got ourselves an Razor Standard for a Kieran. That shouldn't be on a Kieran. If anything, that should be on Tala, I think. You know what, I'll think about it. As in about who that exactly should be on, because... Wait, can you go into any kind of stance? No, just ambush. Would you be able to move with ambush on? Very slightly. I wonder if there's a benefit to trying to ambush here. What engine... Nah, Engine Bolt's probably too scared. There could be a stack in Fort Ostrosk, I suppose. You know what? Go here, and go to ambush right behind Tala, so that if they attack Tala, you come in as a reinforcement, rather than ambush. Oh, what's the 60%? Yeah, alright. I like the concept, or at least I like the idea. Whether it works or not remains to be seen. I suppose we could have actually taken Help It, but the thing is, it would be kind of a hassle to hold it, and I'm kind of not into it right now while there's all these Skaven plagues around, but we will probably try to take these territories over and give them to the Great Orthodoxy. Actually, speaking of the Great Orthodoxy, I had an idea. What if we ask you to break defensive alliance with these guys? It'll cost us 30k. Quite a bit, but that would make them... That would make these guys, who will probably be fighting, not like... Yeah, you know what? I think this is worth our time. I'm not 100% sure, but this should make Vlad... Yeah, Vlad likes these guys a lot more, which is what we want. We want Vlad and the Great Orthodoxy to ally rather than to hate each other, because that way we can get them both protecting our territories. It's manipulating everybody, which is absolutely appropriate for all the glamorizing that Drika likes to do. Anyway, with that, unfortunately, we are out of time, and I'm going to have to call the episode here. Next time, Dirthu probably marches towards the Blackstone Post, or we get a fight with Daretalk against Uli. As soon as we end the turn, there's also a very solid chance that Grom will try to attack Kolis, only to be met by the... or try to attack Isilal, only to be met by Kolis's ambush. And then, lastly, we still have potential for Akka to destroy the Crooked Moon Greenskins for good, depending on if the Karasakarak dwarves don't fight them and destroy them first. Because this army is garbage. It's absolute garbage. Though they do have something of a garrison. And then as soon as these guys are done, we can start pushing Akka towards the Forest of Gloom, which we've been eyeing for a while. Though it's unlikely that we could hold Mount Squighorn while Carrick Drawn remains. Maybe it would be better to take the Pillars of Grugni, jump down, raise Karak-Drawn, jump back up, and then take out Karazakarak. I guess we'll see next time, so stay tuned for more trees. Don't forget to leave a like and comment. All glory to the algorithm. And thanks for watching.